I'm Walter Krebs from Prairie Home Inspection. Thanks for inviting us in. Hi there, I'm Walter Krebs from Prairie Home Inspection. Welcome to this week's episode of Tuesday's Tips, your weekly home inspection series that'll help you in your search for a new home. Today, I find myself in the garage and ready to inspect this home's electrical panel. You may be asking yourself, is it normal to find the electrical panel in the garage? And I would have to answer, not often. Most times you will find the electrical panel in the basement of a home, close by the other utilities. Before we get started inspecting the electrical panel, I must talk about safety, because electricity can kill you. If you cannot identify an unsafe installation, or if you're not familiar with electrical panels, then stay well away. I'm a qualified and licensed home inspector. When I do a home inspection, I always start with a visual examination of the electrical panel. From the outside, I can see that all the conductors are secure and neatly organized. This is a good sign that the installer cared about the quality of his work. I see the box does not have any openings either. During installation, electricians will make an opening when they feed the wires through. Sometimes an opening is created and not used. This represents a shock hazard and should be corrected by a qualified electrician immediately. During your visual examination, you should also look for water. If during a home inspection, if I were to have encountered any hazards at this point during my inspection of the electrical panel, I would not proceed any further. And I expect you to stop too. But things look good, so let's open the panel door. Now that the door is open, I would recommend that you put your hands in your pockets and avoid the temptation to poke around. Each layer you peel on this onion will bring you closer to shock. What you can do while your hands are safe in your pant pockets is scan the panel. Look for rust and signs of moisture intrusion and see if the breakers are sitting straight and level in their spots relative to the dead front. Breakers and connections can weaken or even fail. This can result in arcing and hot spots. This often shows itself as burns to panel components and discoloration. But it may not show at all unless I use my thermal imaging camera to scan for hot spots. This is a very effective use of this technology. Let's get a closer look of this breaker here. This one is a different color. This is an arc fault interrupter breaker. From the panel labeling, we can see that it is a circuit for the bedrooms. This breaker is a safety device that will trip if it detects electrical arcing in that circuit. It can stop a fire from ever starting, and it may save your life. You may have noticed the test button on that breaker. It is meant to test the AFCI's operation. In previous weeks, I had you test the GFCI in a washroom, but this is different. This circuit has alarm clocks on it, computer, and maybe the pump to an exotic fish tank. So I would suggest not testing it in order to avoid getting an angry phone call later. So, how do you know if a home's electrical system has enough power to suit your needs? The main breaker is a good indication of that. This one is 100 amps, and that should be enough for the needs of most households. Sometimes a homeowner has special power requirements, and if that's the case, then you should consult with a qualified electrician. Well, that's the end of this week's home inspection tip, but I will be back next week with another of Prairie Home Inspection's Tuesday's Tips. I'm Walter Krebs saying I'll see you soon. How small is that utility room? Glad I didn't have that second cheeseburger.
Over and over and over again, I wanna scream from the rooftop, no, this ain't the end. But amongst all these villains, I will be your friend. But amongst all these villains, I will be your friend.
Most times, you will find the electrical panel in the basement of a home, close by the other utilities. I don't know who that is. Sorry, it was for me.